welcome to the Project Pal. My name is Gunnardur, I'm an Icelander, live in Iceland, and this is my podcast vlog talky thingy, where I talk mostly about yarn. I talk about knitting, crocheting, anything fiber related that I can think of, because fibers are very, very interesting. I also talk quite a bit about weather, because I'm your stereotypical middle-aged Icelander. And yeah, welcome to the podcast. I call it Project Pal because I have projects and they are in piles, and I just keep adding to them. So yeah, where do I want to begin? Actually, let's start with my progress on the blanket. Look at that. So yeah, not as much progress as I intended, but again, I'm also participating in Camp Nano this April, and I realized that I am definitely a discovery writer as of right now, so I don't really should have planned my book better, the story better, but I keep running into the, oh wait, what am I doing? So my progress in even that project hasn't been the best, but it's a stitch after stitch, so it's going. And my reading is going. Work has been absolutely delight. The only thing is though, my coworker who's been away from work for over a year and a half was supposed to start working on Monday. Guess who got COVID? The poor woman. Finally, when she's about to get back to work. So her family has had it like one after the other after the other. Like that is so really common right now. It's like, I think it was her daughter who first caught it, and then her son-in-law, like they live separately, and then her husband caught it, and they live together, and a few days after he actually got better, she gets sick. And that's like a day or two before she's supposed to get back to work, and she's been looking forward to getting back to work, the poor woman. But yeah, I mean, that's how the cookie crumbles. Actually, talking about the weather, April decided to be winter, just winter themed. So the March has been pretty good actually. I mean, discounting these storms, occasional storms that have been keeping me awake. April decided to be just covered in snow. Like, we started with, was it on Monday? We started with like a little bit of snow, like barely something like a half a pointer finger. That quickly escalated to quite a bit more. And I mean, we had a little bit of wind on occasion, like, was it, what day was it? It was either Tuesday or Wednesday that we got really, really windy and unpleasant weather, which sucked. I think it was Tuesday, yeah. Which really, really sucked because the kids' school, like the kids were supposed to have that day as their skiing day. So everyone in school just get their skiing equipment or the, I think all that they can just slide down the slopes on, and get into buses and up to the skiing area and just have fun for like half a day. And that's cool. Unfortunately, that exact day decided to be uncooperated, so they had to cancel, which really, really sucks because the day right after was the prettiest, calmest, and just sunny, slight frost. That was a perfect skiing day, and it sucked. Which just, the weather got uncooperative. But like, I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. Like, you lay down plans and then it doesn't cooperate. Talking about skiing though, like, I don't ski myself, but there is what do you call it? Like a competition, like a youth competition right now in my area. So there are her kids from like Reykjavik and other places in the province. There are like 200 extra people in the province, and just in my town there's like 40 or 50 people extra. Mostly teenagers and the adults that come with them for a skiing competition. And that started yesterday. Today is Saturday, and I mean, the weather's been like yesterday was really nice, and I think it's been pretty good this morning, at least where I am. And you know, having just seeing those kids and the adults being so happy and just it's been so much fun. But Friday morning, and we open up at 9 at my store, and the first people in are two young ladies who are so just nothing but smiles and happiness, and one of them so like she was carrying her skis, it was so cute. And then a single adult woman, and she was a little bit frantic, which understandable. She's like, adults in this situation are pivotal to the competition for young people. Well, turns out one of the young ladies in her care, they're from Reykjavik, and so they were traveling on Thursday, got here Thursday evening, I believe. This poor young lady, when she woke up Friday morning, she woke up with a horrible, terrible cold. She was too sick to compete in the competition she's been waiting for. And that just sucks so much. Like, that's so unfair. It's just, can you imagine having something? Because I think that's happened to most of us. Having something that you just look so much, like you're just looking so forward to it. And you're waiting for it to happen and just counting down the days. And then finally when the day arrives, you can't participate because you have a cold, for example, or something comes up and you can't. And it's so unfair. And never met this young lady, probably never will, but I really, really, really felt sorry for her. Because it really, really sucks having all this excitement and expectation, just looking forward to something, and then just basically having it snatched away from you. But yeah, look. I actually have this rhythm pretty much down. I can even do it while talking. Yay, go me. And that's why I really, really like fairly simple patterns like these, both with knitting and crocheting, is when it is simple enough that you don't need to be constantly counting. Of course, those projects are valid as well. I mean, my mother used to crochet like lovely, lovely pictures that you would like when you have balcony doors, or because they usually have like a big glass panel like the balcony doors that I have. And there was this trend when I was a kid, also on just big windows basically, but there was a big trend when I was a kid that people, women mostly, honestly, they would make these like big crochet pictures and hang them in the window. So both you have something pretty to show off, basically you're showing off your talents essentially, but you're also blocking the view into your home with something pretty. And I do remember that if our mom was working on that project, don't disturb her, because you know the look you accidentally give when someone is disturbing you, when you're counting stitches and then you start counting up loud. I'm not saying that I'm scarred from it, but I'm saying that I really do not want to interrupt people when they are doing any kind of handiwork. The like there hasn't been a lot of cold recently. Like it's just been barely above freezing, no, below freezing, like -1, -3 Celsius. But I'm so scared and I'm coming down with a cold. One of my other coworkers actually had to go home yesterday morning. I mean, she was being stubborn too. Like, she showed up because, okay, so one coworker wasn't able to show up on Monday because of COVID. Which kind of really sucked for her. Another coworker who is Polish actually decided to take her summer vacation now in April, May. So she's going to Poland. I think it was yesterday that they were setting off. Yeah, and she started her vacation on Thursday, and then my third coworker had to go home before 12. I think it was around 10 in the morning actually that she agreed to go home because, well, the milk needed to be doing, and she thought, because she wanted to get that done so that it wouldn't land on the rest of us. But my other coworker convinced her to go home and think of herself first. And now I'm really, really scared, and I'm gonna come down with a cold myself, literally, because I mean, that would just be exactly the worst thing that could happen right now. Mainly because I'm being really selfish, but next week I only have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to work, and then I actually get 5 days off for Easter, and I'm like, I don't want to be sick for that. Like, really do not want. So I really hope I don't get sick because I don't feel like it. But yeah. No, I really. Oh, I've actually managed quite a bit while talking to you. Yay! I mean, there are other things that I could be talking about, but this is actually my second attempt at making this video. I kind of cried quite a bit in the first attempt because, well, we lost someone a very good person this Monday. Very kind and good woman. She unfortunately was diagnosed recently with lung cancer, and I believe also, like, I think it's a tissue that's like either, I think it's behind the lungs, so she actually had, from the way that I understand it, like two cancer diagnosed. And this was a person who had to use a crutch the entire 19 years that I've known her. I believe because of a medical mistake years and years ago. And can't remember what it was, but she had to use a crutch. But every single day, every single time I saw her, even when she was extremely sick, always smiling, always happy, always positive, always had something nice to say. Even when she, like, we definitely had the conversations over the years about things that weren't as pleasant, but even then she always managed to laugh. Always. So hearing that she was sick, of course, was devastating, but she still maintained positivity and optimism, because that's just who she was. And the last thing I'd heard about her cancer treatment was that she was very optimistic about being able to have it treated at the local hospital, and she was so happy about that. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was, I think it's called a brain aneurysm, or a blood clot in the brain, and that was it. So we lost a very good person. One of the first person to welcome me to this town and make me feel like I could belong here. And like I said, this is my second attempt at making this video, and I'm already tearing up again. But I don't want to I don't want to cry because she would have told me to chin up. She would have told me to, I mean, cry a little bit because that's human, that's understandable. But she would then have told me to remember the good times because she would have much rather that I remember that. So yeah, but unfortunately she isn't the first one just in the past weeks. I think she's like this is sad, I've kind of lost count, but I think she's either the 4th or 5th person in this town who has passed away. Potentially the youngest. I think she's the youngest, but I haven't really been able to keep up with basically the news. There have been, unfortunately, quite a few of our older people who have been passing away. I mean, when it's time, but still it's like, it sucks. But yeah, when it's time, it's time. Cry the tears that need you, and then remember laughter. I don't want to make attempt number 3 at filming this because I just start, like, I'm sorry, I start tearing up because she was such a wonderful human being. But at the same time, I can't help smiling because thinking of her just makes me happy. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this up now before I start breaking down again. Because it's a weird one, like, I will be crying but then I will be smiling because I will be thinking about just her smiling, laughing, happy face. And it's like... yeah, that's enough for me this weekend. I'm gonna go... probably continue a bit of crocheting. Try not to cry so much. Or just let the tears come, because that's natural, that's normal. Yeah, I'm gonna go do something housework. That always helps with just accepting things. At least it is for me. When I just need a quiet moment to just think and feel, I really like to go do some housework, like change the bedding, do some laundry, vacuuming really good when you need to think thoughts, because I don't know, it's summer, just I know where it is. But as I said, that's enough for me this weekend, and I will catch you next week. Repeating. That's what I do. Yeah. Hopefully with a little bit more done of the blanket. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it turns out. And I will think happy thoughts. This turned out way more morbid than I intended to, but again, thank you for watching, and catch you next weekend. Okay, take care. Bless.